Hi, everybody. We'll get started in just a few minutes here. We'll wait for other attendees to arrive. All right, we'll get started here. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. This is Gene from CommerceBlend. Many of you already know me. And we'll be sharing a recording of today's session and also broadcasting live on Facebook. And as we go through the session, please ask any questions you may have through the Q&A tab at the bottom of the console. For those of you who are not already familiar, CommerceBlend is a community of merchants. So there's over 8,000 companies now in the e-commerce ecosystem. And at CommerceBlend, we're looking for those partners that can have the greatest impact and influence. And so we invite thought leaders from the community to share their ideas, to answer pertinent questions, and also to familiarize and educate with about their platforms. And we're very happy today to have Paul from Feedonomics. Feedonomics, for those of you that are not familiar, can easily pull products from any shopping platform or file feed or custom site with any kind of schedule. And they can optimize the product data and automatically get your products listed in hundreds of different search, social, affiliate, and marketplace channels. So this should be of great interest to any merchant out there. And without further ado, I will hand over the session to Paul McGee, and we will be, again, answering questions as we go through the process. So Paul, thank you so much for joining, and the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Gene. Let me just pull up my slides here and take over the share. Really great to be here with everyone today. I'm excited to share with y'all a little bit more about Feedonomics and sort of, the world of e-commerce and driving more sales through better optimized feeds, and sort of go over everything we do with Feedonomics today to help businesses in the e-commerce world, show some examples, and then we can hop into this new integration and partner relationship we have with Snapchat that I think was also exciting for y'all to listen to. So like Gene said, Feedonomics allows you to easily list your products on hundreds of different channels, everything from Google to Walmart to Amazon, Facebook to Snapchat to Pinterest, really wherever you want to be advertising or selling your products. Feedonomics is there to provide full service setup, optimization, and 24/7 support from a dedicated support team. Our story starts out back in the days at an actual advertising agency, managing several large e-commerce clients, including a few publicly held companies. I think, the first official e-commerce client, Feedonomics client actually had about 30 million SKUs, and that was where this whole story started. So some of our founders were trying every feed platform out there, and really just saw a huge opportunity to do it better. They quickly realized that other agencies, other marketing teams are having the exact same problems they were experiencing. And so that's where Feedonomics started. Fast forward to today, 5 years later, we're across 80 different countries with our team. We have full 24/7 support with over 2,000 clients, 150 team members, and growing extremely fast for our business, which is very exciting around here for us. We work with 30% of the top 1,000 internet retailers. We're optimizing billions of rows or SKUs, over 6 billion SKUs every single day, that has millions of optimization rules applied to those SKUs. And our CTO was recently selected as a 30 under 30 under Forbes for the retail and e-commerce segment. So the problem that we were sort of alluding to earlier is that, you want your products available, everywhere that you think your demographic might be shopping, and everywhere that your demographic might be spending time, so you can advertise to them. The problem is that your options out there are pretty, sort of slim. Most other feed platforms are a do-it-yourself approach, leaving you to figure out the tool on your own, how to set up the feeds, how to maintain your feeds and products. And because of that complexity of trying to learn a tool that's something that's probably outside of your expertise and something that gets you excited every day, that often can lead to a set it and forget it approach that can be really cumbersome. And so without a team or technology that is full service, monitoring your data, that unattended data can also create errors and suspensions. I'm sure there's been some horror stories out there on the Google Merchant Center and the errors that can crop up there. And those can cost you tens of thousands of dollars a day in lost revenue potential. So what you want is something that's easy to use, something that's versatile for any task and affordable. And so that's where we come in. We allow you to pull data from anywhere, whether it be a feed file, a shopping platform, or even a custom site. And then we take that data and help you get listed everywhere. So you can optimize your product data and automatically push out to any channel at any time that you want. And typically we set those pushes on a recurring schedule so that those channels always have the most up-to-date, accurate product data. So let's talk a little bit about feed optimization. This might be new to some people out there. It may be a refresher for others, but essentially this is really just making sure that your product data is clean and relevant. And so what clean means is that there's no missing values in the feed that you're sending over to Google, for example. There's no rogue HTML characters in your descriptions, maybe. And you want to make sure that your feed is designed and optimized for each channel in particular and the specifications that they recommend and that they allow. And then relevant, you want to make sure that your product titles are structured in a similar way to the way that users are going to be searching for them. So that's especially relevant for a search platform, shopping platform like Google Shopping or Microsoft Ads. At a very high level, what Google and Microsoft are doing is matching the user's query to your titles and descriptions and other attributes in your feed to determine from an organic standpoint what products are most relevant to this user's query. And once I determine from an organic standpoint what's most relevant, then they layer on the bidding strategy and the campaigns and all that good stuff that agencies and marketing teams are great at to determine who shows up first. But the first thing they're looking at really is relevancy. And so in this example, we can see that maybe our raw title on Nike.com, for example, was just Air Max shoes, whereas the optimized title that we send over to Google Shopping is Nike Air Max running shoes, size 12 black. So we're adding, things like the brand, things like the word running shoes, a descriptor of that product, the size and the color, because that's how people are typically searching, and those are the more common words that people are going to be using when looking for a product similar to these Air Max shoes. And so you're thinking to yourself, what's happening in between the website, and this website experience and Google Shopping? And what's happening in there is feed optimization. The need for feed optimization is also there because you don't want or need your website and the titles of your products on your website to have all of those keywords like running shoes, size 12 black. That wouldn't make sense when I'm on Nike.com because I know I'm looking at men's running shoes because I navigated through their breadcrumbs and their sort of product categories to get to this page. I can see that I've got this color right in front of me. I can see the size selection. So it doesn't make sense to include that information on the site, and nor would you really want to, because that might mess with your conversion rates and things like that. So what's happening in between the website and Google is that feed optimization. Now let's talk a little bit about marketplaces and why those matter in the world. And so I'm sure if anyone out there hasn't heard of Amazon, maybe read a magazine or a newspaper at some point, but it's been pretty surprising. Recently, Amazon has taken over Google as the #1 place where product searches originate, with over 55% of those product queries originating on Amazon. Amazon is a very sticky platform, and so 92% of people who start on Amazon purchase right through Amazon. And so that goes with other marketplace channels out there as well. And of course, most of the buying, 80% of sales on Amazon and Walmart actually happen right through that buy box. So it's of utmost importance to win that buy box with your Amazon strategy and to be listed on Amazon, even if you have some thoughts about Amazon's brand and how your brand may not fit there. I would encourage you to be certainly looking for products that you sell or similar products that are being sold on Amazon to really understand what the opportunity might be for your business, because it is a growing channel and one that we feel is of the utmost importance for people that are taking up a marketplace strategy. And marketplaces really in 2019 and 2020 have made a lot of waves. I think bigger companies out there like the Facebooks of the world and Target, they are slowly but surely launching their own third-party marketplace experiences to compete with the Amazons of the world. And I'm sure y'all have probably heard of Google Shopping Actions as well, which is the buy on Google or buy through Google experience that Google is also playing with. So marketplaces are going to become more and more important as we move forward. And considering today's climate with the global pandemic and retail pretty much shutting down, marketplaces now are on the minds more and more of businesses of all sizes, because it's a great additional channel to sell your goods. So for Feedonomics, our technology, when it comes to marketplaces, we call FeedAmp. And this is really about automating the order fulfillment and workflow of your data. And so in a similar way, when we're managing feeds for paid search, paid social channels, where we're taking data from a source on the left side of the screen, we're optimizing it in Feedonomics. And then on the marketplace side, we're getting those catalog listings all set up. Whereas on the feed side, this might just be Google Shopping, where we're feeding that data to shopping. But on Amazon or eBay, Walmart, we are setting up those catalog listings for you, optimizing them for that marketplace channel in particular, in the format and with the keywords and everything that will be relevant for users of those platforms. And once we have those catalogs listed for you, then we start checking for orders, and we automate that process as well. So we'll actually check for orders every 15 minutes on these marketplace channels, pull that data into Feedonomics, and then drop it somewhere on the left side of the screen. We have a few different options that we can integrate with on the left here. We have a REST API, we have some FTP protocol that can be used, and we also have API connections with most of the major e-commerce platforms out there, being Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento, Salesforce Commerce Cloud, Oracle Commerce Cloud, and probably a few other that I'm not thinking of right off the top of my head. But we have lots of different options to pull this product data and get it wherever you need, so that the fulfillment of those orders can just flow as normal through your fulfillment systems. And if needed, we're even able to do some custom development on this left side of the screen to maybe port those orders into an OMS or ERP that might be required from your teams. Part of our marketplace service includes Amazon error resolution. We know that this can be a major pain, and so we automatically pull Amazon errors and present them to you in what essentially looks like a Google Sheet. You can really easily go down and replace or ignore those orders. You fill out the sheet or make these changes, and we can automatically bring that into Feedonomics and update Amazon with the correct values for you. So you only have to do that once, and then you won't have to worry about it again. And additionally there, we can identify patterns of errors that Amazon is throwing to us, and then we can write custom rules to just say, let's take this top line, for example, where our brand value is Nike Corp, but Amazon's value is just Nike. And so we want to replace that. So we could just write a quick optimization rule in Feedonomics that says, take the brand, and anytime the brand value says Nike Corp, turn it into Nike. And then, anytime you add additional Nike branded products, they won't receive that error from Amazon. We allow you to see all of your orders in the same place when it comes to this FeedAmp dashboard, and you can really easily filter by order status and date to see the entire order journey if needed. We also, help you sort of win the buy box and stay really competitive with one of our supplementary feed services that we call FeedSpy. This is really about repricing your items, setting rules to be the most competitive on a marketplace or, on a Google Shopping type channel. And there's multiple ways to use this product. You could automatically reprice items if you wanted to, if you were, serving those to a marketplace. But you could also use those to inform your bidding strategy. We can use this FeedSpy tool to actually sort of search and query Google to show or to grab the top 10 prices of this, say, KitchenAid mixer and report those to you. We'll show you, sort of the max price, the min price, the average price, and then you can understand how competitive you are in the landscape. And maybe for your most competitive products, you can then spend a little bit more money on those bids for your shopping campaigns. And for your least competitive products, you can spend a little less. So it really gives you a great idea on how to efficiently and effectively utilize your ad dollars. This is just a little case study that we did recently on Google Shopping Actions with one of our partner brands, Ambush Board Company. Google, like I sort of said, is becoming like Amazon, and Amazon, quite frankly, is becoming like Google. And that's happening across all channels, where anyone that was a sort of more of that typical pay-per-click model, they are adding a marketplace feature like Google Shopping Actions or Facebook Marketplace. Any of those channels, they're adding marketplaces. And then Amazon and Walmart and eBay, they're scaling up their paid search campaign efforts. So everything's sort of coming together, and it's going to have, we feel like, the merge of the marketplaces and the paid search campaigns are all going to sort of become one in the end. But Google Shopping Actions is an interesting one to look at. It helps typically increase your performance, both on the Google Shopping side as well as Google Shopping Actions and people buying right through Google. So you can see that this skateboard company, they saw a 104% increase in total revenue, 115% in conversions by running Google Shopping Actions in addition to Google Shopping campaigns. One of the tools we have in the Feedonomics platform is our feed grader, which is a great tool to really powerfully audit your feed and understand where you are. And so over time, maybe problems keep arising with rogue HTML or titles that don't contain the brand, or other issues. You can easily identify those missed opportunities with our feed grader report. This report checks over 70 different common feed issues or best practices, and reports back on the exact product count and how to fix those issues. We also, focus a lot on protections and how to keep our clients' data working really smoothly and without them having to worry too much about adding new products or what's going on in the feed. You just want to know that it works, and we are here to help make sure it works for you and take that work off of your plate. So what happens when new products are added to your feed, or products that are missing critical attributes get added or changed in some way? We have data governance in this feature in our platform that allows us to automatically get alerts when those new products are added to your feed and aren't optimized, when products aren't categorized correctly or at all, when products are missing critical attributes, or really any other custom condition in your feed that you want to make sure never happens. So if we take that Nike example that we had earlier in the slides, we could essentially say, okay, I want to make sure that Adidas never comes up in my feed no matter what. So we could easily write a quick little if statement saying, if the title or description or brand contains the word Adidas for more than one single SKU or item in your feed, then send our team an alert. We'll work with you to figure out, where that is and what change we need to make, and we'll make that change on your behalf. And we can also choose to stop that export automatically when it identifies that there's that word Adidas in one of the SKUs, and it won't send that out to your advertising channels. And then our team will go in and fix that, and we'll get it sent out, the next day or that day as we get it fixed. Awesome. We also have, along with our protection and alerting feature, we have feed alerts where we are monitoring your Google Merchant Center. And we know that this is important because unresolved Merchant Center errors can result in thousands of dollars of lost revenue every single day. And so what we're doing is we're checking twice a day the Google Merchant Center. You can set any type of error tolerance threshold you'd like, whether that be 1% or 20%. that's up to you. We can work with you to set that custom threshold, and then you'll receive an email alert with detailed error stats anytime that threshold is exceeded. And our team will resolve feed-related errors for you, where you don't even have to worry about it. But a lot of times these errors crop up because of changes on a website, in some code. And so our team will work with you and guide you to make sure that you have all of the guidance and support needed to get those issues resolved. We also provide unlimited feed audits out there. So whether you're a brand, we'd love to audit your feed data and look exactly, sort of what's going on in your Google Merchant Center feed right now and how could you better audit that feed to see better performance. And if there's any agency members out there, we do complimentary audits for any number of your customers that you might be interested with, and just sort of seeing where is the status or quality of their feed. How can we improve? And so we're looking at things like titles missing search relevant keywords and brand. We're looking for incomplete or messy descriptions or unoptimized product type distinctions, incorrect or vague Google shopping categories, and underutilized custom labels. Those are all the things that our audit goes over, and we can present that to you, no problem. It takes us just about 3 business days or so to get those audits turned around. One of the other supplementary feed tools that we have is called Feedtelligence. This is a really powerful tool because it helps you get ideas from real search data. So what we do is we automatically compare your Google shopping feed and the titles to actual converted search terms on Google, so that we can identify missing words for title and description optimization. And this happens on a per SKU basis. The only caveat here is that you must use Google Analytics with eCommerce tracking for us to be able to enable this. But most people do that, so if that is the case, this might be valuable to you. But let's look at this last line in this example here of the Feedtelligence report to sort of understand what's happening. So we can see here that the current feed title is Oriflame Gas Fire Pit Table Savannah Stone. And this is a very common way that our team would optimize a product in a feed, where we have the brand first, we've got the sort of the title, we've got the the fact that it's a table, and then we've got the material or color, whether that be Savannah Stone. If that's a material or color, I'm not exactly sure, but pretty common way that we would optimize a product normally. And what Feedtelligence did for us is it identified that Oriflame Backyard Fire Pit is actually the most common query for this SKU. And that's resulted in 33 conversions with $29,000 worth of revenue in this case. And then we say, okay, well, here's the missing word, the word backyard. And that's something that maybe the brand team or the agency team, and certainly our team didn't really think of. And so these are really great ways to understand and keep your pulse on consumers' queries and what words they're using to search for your types of products, so that you can make sure to add those keywords into your feed titles and capitalize on that increased relevancy. Another service we also provide is dynamic text ads for Google Ads. And so this really allows you to easily create AdWords campaigns that are dynamic. And so we actually leverage your feed to create those campaigns, and you can dynamically insert attributes from your feed into your ad copy and automatically pause out of stock options. So in this example, you can see that we've inserted things like Air Max 270 as the title of the product. We've inserted the price. We've inserted the color. We've inserted the fact that there's 5 left in stock and that we're running 25% off for only 2 more days. So this really is excellent for people in the auto world, but also people that have very large SKU catalogs and may have some technical information in there, or just the need to run these campaigns, but they normally can't because they have so many SKUs. And in the old world, you sort of have to run these campaigns or these ads on a SKU by SKU kind of basis, which is pretty tough. So we allow you to alter the ad copy of this search ad without losing your performance with our dynamic text ads product. We also do catalog aggregation. And so this is really sort of thinking about what happens before your website. If you're a major retailer and you're getting file formats from your vendors of, their different formats, their different platforms, they're just disparate systems, different formats all across the board from, say, the 100, 200 or more vendors that you may be working with. And so we can actually create a feed from any custom website by crawling that site if needed. If they can't provide a feed, we can monitor and manage thousands of feeds in a unified dashboard and process millions of SKUs in seconds. And so what you can imagine is that instead of like right here, we have your website as at the end of the process, whereas what we've presented before was more having the Google Shopping, the Facebook as the end. Well, what we're saying is you can take your vendors and all the data feeds that they might be providing you. We can ingest those into Feedonomics. We can organize them, optimize them in the exact way that you want those to be presented and formatted, and then create and drop a file, whatever file format you need, to you so that your team could easily ingest that data into your website and take a lot of relief off of some pains that you might be feeling. And then from there, we can also almost turn these arrows backwards to say, okay, then we'll bring it back into Feedonomics and send it out to the Google Shopping, the Facebooks, your advertising or marketplace channels that you want to go to. So that sort of wraps up, my presentation for today. But a few of the brands that we work with, global brands we work with, are listed here. We have many more success stories on our website, feedonomics.com. I really appreciate everyone's time today, and would be happy to answer any questions that may have popped up.
So, Paul, first off, thanks for a great presentation, and I'm so glad that I was here today because from what I recalled from Feedonomics from a couple of years ago, it was a way to optimize your Google Shopping feed, but it's so much more than that with Amazon, eBay, and so many other channels, and then all the tools I was not aware of, the feed amp, feed spy, feed grader, feed alerts, feed intelligence, etc., and dynamic text ads, catalog aggregation, and it's an incredible platform. So I feel more edified from having been here today, and really appreciate you taking the time to go through all this stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so, oh, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I see that there's one question from the Zoom here that I can answer,
Right.
which is sort of how is pricing structured? And so pricing for us for the paid search, paid social, and I should be clear, we break up our services really into two major buckets. One is the marketplace side, and one is more of the paid search, paid social, affiliate marketing sites. So for both of those, we price our services based on how many SKUs we're ingesting into Feedonomics. And on the paid search side, you get unlimited number of export channels or advertising channels to send out to included with your package. So that means that, if you have 5,000 SKUs, our pricing starts at about $4.95 a month for up to 1,000 SKUs and then goes up from there. But it includes unlimited number of exports. So you could send a feed out to Google Shopping, Microsoft Ads, Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat, an affiliate network, you know, other display networks, even email marketing tools, all for one expected cost. And then the way that our marketplace service works is based on number of SKUs and number of marketplace channels that you'd like to go to. And we have built that into market sort of buckets. So the first bucket that you get includes up to 5 marketplace channels, and that's all for one expected and fixed cost, where you're not going to be, we're not charging you a % of revenue, you know, so that, you know, maybe one day you might be paying 20, 30, 40 or more $1,000 a month to us. If your marketplace channels are doing really well, it's going to be just as really, you know, pretty nominal expected cost that you can expect on that marketplace side. And before, if there's any other questions, I would be happy to answer them here, but I also wanted to just sort of talk through this new integration we have with Snapchat. So I didn't see any other questions in here, Gene. Did you see any others come through?
No, I think that was, and that was the most pressing question on my side as well.
Okay.
And just a quick sidebar along those lines, I'm guessing that you have some kind of analytics that could show the ROI on that kind of investment, because when you show the myriad ways that you can save money with Feedonomics, what seems like somewhat of a modest investment probably comes back many times over. I don't know, 4x, 8x, 10x, whatever. So I don't know if that's part of, in a sales presentation with a particular client, for example, if you're able to share any of that kind of data.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, and I'll touch on that real quick. You know, because especially on the paid search, paid social, sort of standard PPC advertising feeds, because there's so much performance based on the campaigns and the structure of those setups, we actually don't do a lot of reporting and can't you know, guarantee performance, because it really has to do with your campaigns. Now, we do have additional, you know, layers and levels of service where you can have sort of a dedicated feed manager that can really be driving conversations for you or with your agency team to help you get the most from an organic standpoint out of your product feeds. But really, you know, it's that marketing team or that agency team that you know, is going to be driving the performance. And then, you know, you'll see that organically throughout your, or that organic performance, you know, sort of increase with an optimized feed. So that's also interesting with Google Shopping recently allowing, you know, free listings, free product listings on the shopping tab. That's really speaks to the need to have a very well optimized product feed sent over to Google Shopping to take advantage of those free listings, because when it's just an organic standpoint, that is when the keywords and having an optimized feed is really the most important.
Got it. Well, thank you for that. I know you have a hard stop in 5, and I'm sure the audience is wanting to know more about the Snapchat integration as well.
Yeah, so one of the more recent partners and channel partners that we've set up or got set up with is Snapchat. So just wanted to do a quick little, you know, provide some resources to everyone about this. So Snapchat, if you don't know much about it, you know, they reach 90% of all 13 to 24-year-olds right now in the US, and 75% actually of 13 to 34-year-olds. So really anyone in that, you know, 35 and under type age bracket is going to be a really great market for Snapchat. And let's see what else. You know, they've recently launched their dynamic product ad feature, which is what we're sort of talking about today, so that you can really be retargeting your consumers after they land on your website and go somewhere else. If they use Snapchat, you know, you can retarget them with those exact products that they may have been looking at. And so one exciting thing is that anyone that's new to Snapchat that is also a client of Feedonomics that is you know, interested in taking advantage of those dynamic product ads in Snapchat can receive a $500 ad credit as a new client to Feedonomics and Snapchat together. So that's, you know, a really cool little offer that we have going on. It's valid through the end of the year. So you've got time to take advantage of that, especially if you're feeling some impacts from COVID right now. You know, would be certainly at least good to think of in the second half of 2020. But I really appreciate everyone's time today and allowing me to present. And thanks, Gene, for inviting me.
Paul, thanks again for a very, very valuable session today. I know my wheels are spinning, and hopefully this has been insightful for everyone who joined. Have a great rest of your Friday and weekend, and thank you to everyone who joined us today. The recording will be available afterwards and also visible on the CommerceBlend website. So for those that have any questions, don't hesitate to follow up or check out commerceblend.com. Paul, thank you again so much for today.
Yep, thank you.
All right, talk to you soon.
Uh-huh.